So now that I'm out here on the west coast, away from my so-called real life, maybe my old life, I feel like I'm on a vacation. I'm on one of my 2 vacations a year. 2 vacations, 6 months each. That's a pretty good retirement. You know, a couple of videos ago, as I was getting ready to leave Ontario, I said that was going to be the last video for Bob's Walkie-Talkie channel. Clearly, I was wrong. You know, there's a saying that goes, sometimes you just gotta walk away from your problems, and other times you gotta run. Some people would say that I'm running away from my problems, escaping here to beautiful Kelowna BC. They'd say I'm running away from my problems, but they'd only be half right, because I am running away, and there are problems, but they're not my problems. You can only control your own actions in your own life, in your own emotions. You can't let others hold you back, keep you down. So here's my first observation about living in Kelowna, BC. I've only been here for 4 full days. So it's always good to make a record of your initial thoughts when you first get to a place before everything becomes normal. So my initial thoughts when I drive around town is that the roads are about 10% too small, and the buildings are about 10% closer to the roads, and you feel really hemmed in Kelowna, BC. And I don't know if it's because we just drove across the prairies and wide open spaces, and now we're hemmed in by the lake and the mountains and all of the buildings in town. Kelowna feels like you're driving around Toronto, and yet it's just a tiny town. My second observation about Kelowna specifically, and BC and maybe Western Canada generally, is that people dress differently here. People dress like they're expecting a hike to break out at any moment. They may be going to the grocery store, but on the way back home they might take a detour for a quick hike through the mountains. And one thing I like about being on the west coast in Pacific time is that we're 3 time zones away from Eastern time. Eastern time is the time zone that most everything important in the world happens. And being on the west coast means that I've got a head start in ignoring all of the bad news coming my way. So the question today is, what constitutes a happy life? every time I leave my home in Waterloo, Ontario, I start getting a little philosophical because it's a bit of a reset. And I'm very good at leaving behind things that I like for new experiences, because I think you get stale. I get stale if I stay in one place too long. But the question is, what constitutes a happy life? And for some people it might be having children, having a BMW, having a fluffy white dog. I don't know what it is for me, but it's not material. I think it's just maybe having the freedom to do what I want when I want. And I have that now, so it makes me pretty happy. Look how pretty this is. And I'm back on this theme that you should probably try to get 1% better every day. It's not a lot to ask. Slow progress or minimal progress is still progress. So I was thinking that I haven't been to this town for 2 years, and my life has changed a lot in the last 2 years. 2 years ago I was still working, and that's the major change. But my attitudes toward a lot of things have changed as well. Attitudes towards people, health, I don't know, a lot of things. It's good to change. Sometimes you just got to get the ball rolling in a certain direction and follow through where it takes you. So, in Kelowna BC, my morning walk is along the lake, which is really nice. I think my home in Waterloo misses something that's very fundamental, and that is a lake or a river or an ocean. I just like being near water. Yeah. Before I go, I'll leave you with this. A short walk through the neighborhood park that is closest to my new home. It's a nice little park right on the Great Lake, Okanagan.